sorry. So the light catch us. Okay. Hi gems, it's your girl Amber here and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have a special guest, my almost 17-year-old son, Reese.
Hi.
What? Nothing. Anyway, so some people have been commenting about really integrating the kids into my YouTube channel, and I thought it was a fantastic idea, and Reese finally agreed to come online with me, and we're gonna play a bit of a game today. If you guys don't know, I got pregnant with Reese my sophomore year of college. I was 20 years old, and I knew from the moment that I found out I was pregnant that this was just going to be the journey for me. I was going to be a mom. Has completely changed my life for the better, and I always joke that he's the mature one in the relationship. Even though I'm the mom, I really only inject my mom kind of momness, shall I say, when like we bump heads. But other than that, we get along relatively well. So the game that we're going to be playing today is called The End Game. If you guys have not seen their channel on YouTube, they bring together, you know, husbands and wives, daughters and fathers, sons and mothers, just any type of intimate relationship that you have in your life, and they just ask really tough questions. And I thought, wow, this could be really dope for me and Reese to do together. Not only for you guys to better know him and our relationship, but for me to discover some things about my son that he doesn't outwardly tell me. And I'm the talker and he's not so much. So this will give us an opportunity for him to kind of be an open book in that way, especially with our channel, as we've been really transparent in how it has affected his life, being an older sibling and so forth. You want to tell the folks a little bit about you?
Like you said, I'm 17 years old, or I will be 17 next week, actually. I'm pretty excited for that. Yeah, I'm going into my junior year of high school next year, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. I play football.
He's a Taurus. A May Taurus. It's significantly different.
It matters.
It matters. They need to know.
Okay.
Why, you know, when we bump heads, it's because he's stubborn. Okay. So what we've done to not kill too much time recording, he just finished his remote learning today, and I'm in between meetings at work, so we thought it was a good time to film because the littles are at school. If you hear the clitter clap, you know that this it's Ray. He's walking around the kitchen. But I have pre-selected some cards. Reese does not know what the questions are. I know, I have an idea. I skimmed them and thought which ones were good for like a mother-son dialogue versus like boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife. And then there's a bonus question at the end. So I'm actually going to shuffle them up so that they don't go in any particular order, so then I won't know.
Okay.
But I'm going to pick them, you answer the questions, and then what I'll do is on the flip side, I will answer those pertaining to you in return. Does that make sense?
So the same question, but just...
Same question, but I'm going to answer it as well.
Got it.
You ready?
Yes.
Sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First question. Ooh. Who is your least favorite person in the family and why?
In the immediate family? Like this house right now? Or like...
Oh my goodness!
The entire family?
Your choice.
Oh my gosh, you put me on the spot like that.
I didn't think that would be the first one, but keep it a buck.
That's like not fair. I'm like anyone can see this. Okay.
But you can say why.
My father for personal reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. So, wow, I'm like shaking. So, my least favorite person, I would say my dad right now too. Yeah, I mean, I love my father, and I feel like dislike is a strong word, but I dislike the fact that he's not present right now. Like, I wanted him to come to Mother's Day. I want him to come to the baby shower, and it's not because my father's angry or mad or anything. It's just not his personality, and I want him to be something that he's just not, and I have to accept him for who he is, right? Mm-hmm. So, in your case, you have personal reasons as to why your dad is your least favorite person right now.
Not saying it all the time, just like
right now. Yeah. Fair enough, make it clear. But we'll get to a place where you just have to accept people for who they are, right? Mm-hmm. We can't expect like your Pop-Up Curtis energy and loving and you know, and he's a lover, and my dad who's more like a high five, pump a fist type of dude. So yeah, that's fair. Okay, we broke the ice.
Yep. Okay.
Let's take a drink. Ooh, what about our relationship? Wait. Okay, what about our relationship in order to work would you like to change?
And like, what?
Okay, what about our relationship in order for it to work?
Okay.
What would you like to change?
I mean, right now it works pretty well. I mean, it's not like, I mean, obviously my parents, because like that's just what teenagers and parents do.
Yeah,
I guess.
You have moments.
Honestly, I can't think of like one specific thing where it's like
we're typically on the same page. Yeah, for the most part.
Because if anything comes up, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Like we're very open dialect. What's it called?
Dialogue.
There you go. That if we have an issue with each other, we'll say it, or we'll talk in the most respectful way to each other. We'll like express how we feel.
And that's super important to me because I grew up in an era of a child is seen and not heard. Granted, my mother was a really great listener, but I mean, we were surrounded by just older generation of people, right? And they kind of were like, you can have your feelings, but you keep them to yourself. And raising Reese specifically because of his demeanor and how mature he is, I really found it important that he had a voice. And my goal as a parent was really to break those like generational curses of like, men need to be rough and tough and like suck it up buttercup. No, men have feelings. If I hurt his feelings, he tells me I hurt his feelings. If he's frustrated with me, he'll tell me he's frustrated with me. If he's annoyed with me, I mean literally, because I think what's important is that I'm not perfect. Even though I'm his mother, I'm still a human and I'm with flaws. And what's important to me is that when he leaves the house and he builds relationships, he can articulate those feelings, because I think a lot of issues, especially in intimate relationships, men are not great communicators. And I just want him to use his words respectfully, right? Because let me tell you something, teen, let a girlfriend come and knock on this door talking about Reese did something. Who am I taking out?
Me?
100%. I will take you out. I brought you in. It's like, no, let's stop. Okay, so same question for me. I feel the same way. I feel like we're always on the same page. When we're annoyed with like the outside world, we're annoyed collectively together.
No, like if something annoys her, she'll come to me and we'll just like
right? We'll hate on it together. Like, right?
Just like voodoo fingers on
God, like yesterday I was hella annoyed and I was like, Reese. And he was like, so what are you gonna do? It's just like, and sometimes it's just a venting session. And I try to be really responsible with what I share with him, because he's still my kid, right? He's not my friend. He's my friend, but he's not, I ain't one of his little friends, if that makes sense. So that's super important to me, but we have a really great relationship. I mean, we probably had like some tensious energy this morning because I really want Reese to be like, he's a go-getter, but he's not like self-motivating. So I try to like push. And I have to learn that that's not his style. Even though like I'm a go-getter and I'm like, I will annoy you. I will be persistent. I will be, you know, that's not his style. He has to find his style. So, but we keep it pushing. Like we don't sit in that space too long. Cause he knows that my whole interest is for his success. Right? Like I want him to be better version of me and his father. So I think once that kind of like marinates, then he like shifts into gear. But other than that, there's really nothing that needs to like, I'm the type of parent that if he goes to college and wants to come home, he can stay with me until he's ready to move. Because he's not shiftless, he's not trifling, he's gonna help, he's gonna support. I firmly believe in that. So, oh, you're cute. Next question. Okay, I'm a dork. How has your upbringing been different, and how does that affect our relationship?
Okay. Because of my upbringing, I feel like is why we can be like open with each other. Because like, imagine if like they've seen what we've had to deal with as a family.
Yeah.
I mean, you've shared that video. So like, imagine if I never expressed how I felt about the situation, or you never came to me and asked me, "Oh, Reese, how do you feel about this, that, and the third?" Like, I would just be like a ticking time bomb, because it would be all inside.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't be able to let it out. And I would, like, as you like you always say, like, when you don't express yourself, it just builds up, and then one day you'll just explode on somebody for something so little that has nothing to do with the situation. It's just like it's so much better. Like, it affects our relationship so much better, even though like we went through hard times. It, in the long run, it made us closer, like, as like mom and son, to be able to like understand each other and be willing to have a good relationship. Like, yeah, I mean, I think that's how, like, what we've been through has affected, or what I've been through has affected us.
Your upbringing, for sure. And then I feel less mom guilt having those conversations with Reese, because there's days that I'll text him and be like, "Am I a good mom?"
She does it all the time.
I do, because I just, you know how, like, as a parent, you put all that pressure on yourself. I feel like we're kicking the table. You put all that pressure on yourself to just, like, not ruin this little person that's come into your life. And I don't feel like I've done that. If anything, Reese has given me the most grace, because he realizes that I'm human, but he knows that my love for him runs so deep. But you're right. Like, imagine if you had to just keep it to yourself and not tell me. I think one of the most powerful things Reese has ever told me, especially coming out of that really toxic, traumatic space in our life, was I didn't think it was my place. And it is always stuck in my head. He was 14 years old and he said, "I didn't think it was my place, Mom, to tell you how I felt about it." And from that moment on, I allowed him to never feel that way again. It is always his place, within, you know, the realms of respect. And I think that, if anything, has really elevated our relationship, because we promised no secrets. Funny story, like, when I found out I was pregnant, I was more scared to tell Reese than anyone in the world, because of that, like, what is he gonna think? Are we about to go down this same rabbit hole again? And we'll have a completely different conversation about that. But for Reese, it was like, you said no more secrets, and he was right, and he could hold me to that. And even though I had my reasons, it's still, the foundation of it was like, no secrets at all. And even me jumping into not jumping, but me entering a new relationship, we talk about that. How are you feeling? Are you comfortable? Some rub you the wrong way. Like, how you know, we talk about it, because no, Reese isn't a decision maker in my life, but he's a huge factor in my decision making in my life. So, okay.
Well said.
Well, I'll do what I can. Oh, I'm gonna cry.
What?
I mean, because I know how you're gonna answer, but still, off the cuff. Right. If you could do it all over again, and you could choose your mother, would you still choose me, and why?
Yes, because even though, like you said, like, we butt heads sometimes, and like, I'll be like, just not want to, like, see each other for a little bit, but like, I just know, like, you mean well, regardless of like what you say or what you do or how it comes across. Like, I know you mean well, you want me to be successful. Like, I don't think that there's, I mean, there could be, I could be mistaken, but I don't think there's many moms or parent figures in people's lives who are able, or who want to push their child at such a young age to be like, to be successful by the time I leave this house. Like, we talk about how I could be doing so many different things so I could have a place to stay by the time I'm 18, or some money in my pocket by the time I get to college, so I'm not broke. Like, stuff like that, where you look out for me since day one, is just like what makes me like think like, this like is probably the best situation I could probably be in. when it comes to... Are you trying to cry?
No, I'm not. Keeping it together.
Stop. Okay.
Come on now, you know I'm pregnant.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think I would choose anybody else.
Well, I definitely wouldn't choose another son. Like, in regards to, I was so scared when I got pregnant with Reese, but in my brain, I was like, I'm having a kid. There was no abortion conversation, and I don't judge anyone who chooses that at all, because everyone's life is built different, and their village is different. But I knew at 20, as scared as I was, and I had no business, none. Especially because, as you can tell, I'm very young at heart, that I just was so selfish. And it's so funny, when I found out I was pregnant with Reese, I had a tongue piercing.
You did?
Yes.
You did not tell me this.
Yes, I had my tongue pierced, my belly button pierced, and I was like, I'm gonna be someone's mother. And I like took it out and threw it. I took my belly button ring out. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be someone's mother. I can't.
Oh wow.
And ever since that day, it's even why I'm even funny about putting like bathing suit pictures on Instagram, like I have a son. So I was just mentally shifted gears on that level of responsibility, because I knew I was going to be making an impression on someone's life forever. And one thing, especially being a Black woman, I don't want him to have mommy issues, right? Like, I want him to be able to fall in love and navigate that part of his life and not put those pressures and energy on another female. You know, I really want us to be able to have a solid relationship so that he can be like, listen, this works for me, this doesn't work for me. And he's done so good. Like, don't get it twisted. Y'all see his little face. They be in his DMs. Let me tell you something real quick. Side note. No. Okay, fine. Y'all know. So anyway, but he's been really good with navigating that, because we're not raising F-boys over here, period. That's it. Next question. When was our toughest moment together?
Probably when... Oh, I know you're gonna get emotional if I
No, keep it
up.
Okay. No, keep it on.
Probably when we were at Wallace Street. Mm-hmm. Wallace.
That was the house we moved into after we left that situation in Washington still.
Probably me trying to like get you out of the slump. And like, you know, trying to get you to eat, or trying to get you to like stop feeling guilty or sorry for yourself for when, you know, I mean, people may think you did something wrong, like, but me, as like, from my point of view, like, I understand, we've talked about like why it lasted so long, or why you may have not chosen to leave, but like at the end of the day, you still got us out of that situation. We've moved on and we're past it, but you would still sit there and beat yourself up about it. And like, it was hard for me to, because remember how I said like I never thought it was my place, so like it was hard for me to get courage enough to come to you and say, Mom, you need to eat, because I would notice you'd come home from work, just go straight to bed, wake up in the morning, not eat, go to work, and then just do the same thing over and over again. It was like, I know Pierce didn't notice, because, you know, Pierce just floats. But
he lives in Disneyland.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like that was our toughest moment together, because you were dealing with something and I couldn't completely wrap my head around it, because, you know, you had your own thoughts about the situation. So when it came to it, I just, based off what I knew, I tried to talk to you about it, and then we just moved on from there. Like, that was probably my hardest our hardest.
Our toughest, yeah.
I think that's what one of us. Unless you think something else.
I mean, that whole situation was probably the toughest. Just watching you step up to the plate. I've always desired Reese to just be a kid, but I realized, and I'm not a firstborn, so we don't relate. But innately, he stepped in a way, especially for his little brother. I mean, he was only 7 years old right? Yeah, he's 10 now. Yeah, so it's been almost 3 years. So, so just kind of keeping him covered and watching out for him and babysitting him and taking him with his friends and really not having so much as like this teenage time that I really feel strongly that they need, separate from being a big brother or being the firstborn all the time. That was tough because I know that I didn't want you to have to play the role of a parent, but also knew I needed you at the same time. Yeah. That was really tough for me because I don't know, had you not been there, how bad or how dark it really would have gotten. Because you're referring to my depression, right? I mean, I lost 50 pounds, I think. 40 to 50 pounds. Like, it got really bad. Until he came to me and he said, "Mom, please eat." And I thought, wow, my son is watching me literally like die. So I needed to make those. So that was really hard. But even though we're so far removed, I still ask him. And then
another step from getting you to eat again was cutting your hair. I feel like that was
my son. So when I went bald in June of 2013, I'm lying. 2008. Whoa. I know. June 2018, right? No, 19. He shaved my head. He balded me out, and we looked at each other like. I was like, Reese. He was like, let's just do it. It was so freeing, but it was amazing because I was able to experience that with my son, and he saw me, physically, metaphorically shed away that energy. So it was healing in that for sure. I just want the record to show, no tears. Ooh, I'm slicing this up way too much. You're probably like, whatever, ma. Okay. How did you feel about the last time you compromised for me?
Have I ever?
Have you ever compromised for me? Yes.
Wait.
Yes. Oh, I know. I got one.
You got many. I mean, that's like.
I mean, I'm older.
A big thing for
a parent. Yeah. I mean, I'm not like obvious, like my body, my money. Like no. I mean, like a good one.
I think more on to like when we were still in that situation, but like towards the beginning of it, where like I never really went outside or went with friends or anything, I couldn't even do the sports I wanted to do after school because I would go home, pick up Pierce from school, walk home, feed him, take care of him, like stuff like that. Like I feel like I compromised.
Oh yeah.
A good 3 years of like.
3 years.
Middle school.
Oh, okay. I mean, you played football.
Well, I played football, but I didn't. Well, when I wanted to, like, hey, Mom, can I?
You mean like that last year at Wallace?
No.
No, high school too?
I think it was.
I mean, shoot.
When I went to Pioneer. I'm thinking about when I went to Pioneer.
Okay, middle school. Fair enough.
I would always want to stay and hang out with my friends, but I could never stay after school. Like, I would just have to come home.
Yeah. Okay,
so, like,
fair enough.
Wouldn't be able to go because like my friends lived in the next town over. I would never be able to stay. It was called DuPont. I was never able to stay in DuPont, or I would never be able to do anything with my friends unless it was the weekend. Unless Pierce didn't have school, I wasn't able to because Mom was working or like just no one was home to watch Pierce, so I had to go pick him up, stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it may not sound like a lot, but I mean that's all I can think of right now.
No, it doesn't lie. I mean, not everyone's house structure is built like that. I mean, because now, say you were going to school outside the house, I mean, you're remote learning, but Pierce is gone. Like, he's older now. Like, he's considered a latchkey kid versus when he was, like, 5 and 6 years old. There's no way. So the way I feel like you've compromised for me, or I've compromised, which one is it? I compromised for you?
Yeah, you.
I would have left Washington in 2018.
You would have?
I would have.
You talking about...
When I asked you and I was like, Reese, what do you want to do? And you were like, I want to stay. And I said, then stay we will. But I'm also happy that we did. In the same breath. Because we didn't run away. He has nothing to do with it. I didn't run away from something that I needed to face. I was able to build stronger relationships that last year because I didn't have the influence of all the drama that we had come from. we had a good time to be alone, the three of us, before coming back to Maryland. I think we miss it.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, he misses Washington. I miss my people. He misses everything. Warrantly so. I can't relate to leaving in the middle of high school and figuring out, and navigating what that looks like. But he's made really lasting friends, and 2 of them are coming out here next week, and we're going to Puerto Rico, and we're just gonna make we're gonna make it happen. But I think if I did not dial into my son to what was gonna help him in this process, it probably would have been harder. Because you know, when some kids, when they move out of certain situations, like they act out, whether it be disrespectful or like get in fights at school or like misplaced anger. Reese has never, ever, ever done that in his life, ever. Like the one time he got in a physical altercation with a kid, I was like, did you fuck him up? because it's not his heart to be. Oh, okay, all right. But it's not in his heart. Someone has to cross him in order to get him that angry. He's just very laid back that way. So
he hit me first.
And that's the golden rule. Don't come in my face talking about I got in a fight and he didn't swing first. So, nonetheless, I think that was the ways that I compromised. And the ways that he compromised was when my sister passed away, my eldest sister passed away, Christmas Eve 2019, and I was so anxious to move back to Washington, like without my family. Like I just felt like we needed our village, we needed our people. And I was struggling out in Washington. It was expensive. Bills were piling up. It was tough.
And then moved back here. Okay.
When we moved back to Maryland, I feel like he compromised for that. Because we left in the middle of his 10th grade year. And it's been a little rocky. And I want to recoup some of his high school experience. And I feel like we're just figuring it out. And he graduates in 2023. And he'll have that experience. Which is going to be great. And then he'll go off to college, and this will just be a blimp in the journey of life. But that's ways I've compromised and ways that you've compromised for me, in my opinion.
And you've compromised, like, you know.
My body, my money, my things. Okay.
The shoes is the joy.
My shoes. You would think. Everyone's like, oh, Ambra, you got boys, they ain't going to be in your stuff.
It's not my fault we wear the same shoe size.
My skincare?
Mom.
Reese.
You want me to have pimples?
My expensive skincare, girl. He don't be going for Clean and Clear. He be going for the Ole Henriksen and stuff. Mario Badescu. Like, Jesus. If you had a daughter,
okay,
what advice would you give her regarding relationships?
Okay.
I
would tell her what Mom tells me, which is...
I be telling you things.
Which is not to compromise your peace for someone else.
Boom.
So, like, when it comes to, like, how can I put this? You're always the one who has to fix things in the relationship, or you're always the one who has to compromise something for them because they're always upset. Like, it's like when you get to a point in a relationship and you realize, like, you're not benefiting, I'm not saying, like, financially, like, benefiting, like, spiritually or mentally from a relationship, and you're just giving, mm-hmm. You're not receiving, and you realize that the effort levels levels
sure.
are not the same, then you need to realize, I'm compromising myself, my peace, my well-being for someone else, and it's not healthy, because at the end of the day, you can't love someone else if you don't love yourself.
Boom.
Mic drop.
That's true. Like, someone who comes in, like, don't get me wrong, like, who knows teenage girls better than me? I used to be one, okay? And sometimes there have been situations where girls have been just full of drama, like, just to get his attention. And I have to help him navigate, like, what is attention seeking versus, Reese, where is your responsibility in the situation? And if you have girls like that, because those type of girls, in my opinion, it's because they're lacking the attention from the first man that they ever loved, which was their father. And then they look for men, I'm guilty of this as well, to fulfill that void, and that's disrupting his peace. Let me tell you, when Reese gets stressed out, like, he shuts down. And whenever that happens, he doesn't like the way he feels. He's not enjoying life. That's what I mean about interrupting peace. But you're right, it has to be give and take. There's always going to be compromises in relationships, but when you feel like the balance is off, either you address it, and if that person doesn't want to make any adjustments, then your peace should never be compromised.
And then you remove yourself from that situation.
You remove yourself from that situation. Period. Okay. Well, since I'm having a daughter for the first time, not only will I reinforce that same lesson that I've taught you, but to be, which she'll be a chocolate drop for sure, is to really just love the skin that she's in. The insecurities that I faced being a dark-skinned girl growing up, I really want to break that generational curse. Her hair is beautiful, her skin is beautiful, her personality is stunning, you know, things of that capacity. I want her to know that she shouldn't find worth in someone other than herself. On top of, don't let these fools interrupt your peace.
And take advantage.
And take advantage. But knowing her father, she'll know what it's like to be truly loved by a man first. Then her brothers will step in and address things accordingly.
Kill people.
And kill people. Okay. Ooh, what do you think I question about myself?
About yourself? Mm-hmm. If you're a good mom or not? You asked me that. Not a lot. I won't say a lot. But you've asked me that multiple times.
I feel like I be needing an annual review. Like
I mean, because you like reassurance.
I do. That is my love language. Words of reassurance. Yeah.
I mean, you haven't done anything that would make you a horrible mom or a bad mom. Like, a bad mom would be somebody who would, like,
pimp shit out on the corner,
or like go out with your friends, leave me and parents with no food in the house, like that type of stuff. Like, you've never done anything where I could be like, my mom is horrible, or my mom is like, I need to call CPS. Like, there's never been a situation like that. And
you
like,
know who CPS is? Sister Patterson. He called my mother on me real quick.
But
no, we shouldn't joke.
No, but yeah, it's like, I know some people have grown up that way or have been in those type of situations at some point in their lives, and like, I don't think I've ever had to. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Not like I think I've never had to.
Yeah,
think like that. I'm sorry. I never had to. I've never, like, and that's like the one thing I think that you question yourself about a lot.
Okay. For you, and I could be wrong, tell me, I think you question whether or not you'll be successful.
Yes.
Right? Like, you don't want to struggle, but that's just a part of life. You don't want to be financially concerned or not be able to provide. So I think that you question that.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, who doesn't though?
I know, but you're more than other teenagers that I've come across. I don't know if they're thinking about being successful.
You think they're just going with the flow?
I think they're just going with the flow.
Yeah. I mean,
not
I go with the
entirely,
flow for like some of it, but like when it comes to like I'll be 18 next year, so like, what am I just gonna?
You have a whole life to live. Don't you dare put that pressure on yourself.
Well, yeah, but I don't. I think about that type of stuff a lot, though.
Yeah, I can feel it. I'm an empath. Well, maybe I am. I don't know. Okay.
No, she be feeling when I'm not in a good mood.
Oh yeah, I can feel it and be like, okay, you can say nothing now. I'm gonna give you 24 hours, but you won't tell me what's wrong. If you could have something of mine, what would it be and why?
Something of yours?
Mm-hmm.
Your car.
My car. Why?
No.
Oh.
Actually, yes.
Okay, fair. I mean, that's your choice.
I don't think. Yeah.
Okay.
Because actually, no. Your work ethic.
Oh, buddy.
No, I'm so serious. Like, like the fact that you were able to teach yourself how to do makeup from YouTube, and then to make your own YouTube channel, and then to get however many subscribers, like 20K you're at right now, and then to blow up your Instagram to 35K, and then get FENTY deals and what's it called, Sigma stuff, and like the way that you were able to say you wanted to do something and then work at it for a couple years and then see how far you've come from taking videos on a desktop Mac computer to like to a Canon. Like there's like it's kind of motivating, even though it's in a completely different like
industry
field of life.
Yeah.
It's still motivating because it's like, ain't nobody teach you how to do makeup. I mean, obviously you went to a makeup class, but like no one taught you how to do makeup when you first started. You learned from YouTube, just how some people learn from you, and no one taught you to like want to expand into different branches of things, like making your own LLC or starting your own lash salon. Like you did that in a matter of a year and literally are like what, the #1 in the state or something like that,
in the county,
like, and it's only been a year. Like it's crazy because you've done a lot, because like when you put your mind to something, it 9 times out of 10 it happens.
I'm gonna replay this one when I'm feeling low, bro. I'm gonna need it.
No, but like I just wish I had that like non-procrastination.
Woo, chill. Don't get it twisted. I procrastinate too. I think it's human nature, and you'll learn your rhythm. You'll learn it. But I think, and I try to instill this in Reese all the time, is that you're not gonna learn until you hit like your lowest point, and you're like, I'm never gonna let that happen again. Sometimes things have to happen for you to like shift the energy. There's something that you have that I wish I possessed, and that's discernment. Meaning, when something doesn't feel right to Reese, he does not do it. And what I mean by that is that he's not necessarily a leader by like assertion, but his friends follow his well-mannered behavior, in the sense of like if someone's going left and Reese is like, that's dark, that's scary, that's a little questionable, Reese will make a right and leave people in the dust. He doesn't feel peer pressured. I wish that I had the desire to not want to be liked so much that I can make those discerning decisions.
I feel like the only reason I'm that way is because I'm okay with being alone.
You're okay with being alone.
I'm okay with literally just sitting in my room all day and doing nothing.
I said he was a Taurus. Okay, he a homebody. I got to kick him out the house and lock the door. He does. He loves being in his home.
No, yeah, I mean, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's your personality. My dad's
going
the same
outside.
way.
I like going outside and having fun and
he like good night.
But I like going to sleep.
Reese is not the one to like spend the night. Like,
personal bubble. That was a square. Bubble.
He likes his yeah. He's not the one that's like, he'll go hang out with his friends and he may spend the night here and there, but he's quick to come home. Or, oh my gosh, remember the time
I know exactly what you're about to say.
Reese, babe, you're knocking the table.
I'm sorry.
Reese was like, Mom, can so-and-so come over the house? And I was like, oh my God, Reese is having company over. Because that's also something that he doesn't want people in his bubble.
People don't spend the night at my
He don't want them to spend the night. And I've always wanted to be the household that had like all the teenagers, and I'm the cool mom, like, you know, from like Mean Girls. So anyway, he had the kid come over. Let me tell you how trifling. Ooh, you baby. He had the kid come over Friday night. Had a blast. Saturday comes. I'm at work, y'all. Reese texts me, Mom, so-and-so is going to ask if he can stay another night, but I need you to tell him no because I want him to go home. I said, so I got to take the hit? So he was like, all right, but delete this text message. So Reese made me delete the thread. Okay.
And then I had to fake ask her.
He had to fake ask me if so-and-so could stay tonight. And I said, well, Reese, you know, I need him to go home. Mind you, Reese wanted him to leave because he was eating the food. He did. He was like, Mom, he eating up all the food. Bruh. I will never forget that. So then I had to be like, no, he can't stay. So then re-screenshots it, send it to the boy, and then the boy went home. I was like, yo, you wrong, yo. Like,
I had to do that. I mean, I can't say no to his face. He asked me, can I say that? I was like, I asked my mom. And I, did what I had to do.
Tauruses, bro. They don't want nobody in their bubble, honey. Okay. What was the last trip that connected us the best and why?
You said trip?
Trip.
I want to say Hawaii, but that wasn't just like us. It was other people. So I would say like
Cali? Yeah, we went to California. That was fun. We went to Disneyland. We had a good time.
Just me, you, and Pierce?
Me, you, and Pierce. We had a great time. I mean, Hawaii was amazing.
It was though, yeah.
But it was a bunch of us, so yeah, I would concur. I mean, we're going to Puerto Rico next week. That's not going to be exclusive, but it's still it's still being together, fellowshipping, having a good time, and just like not worrying about our day to day. Like his full-time job is school, my full-time is full-time. I'm a testing manager and a YouTuber and influencer, all the things. One thing I'm really excited about that's also going to bring us closer together is I'm just going to infiltrate the kids more into my platform. Me and Reese have a lot of things in common. I have better music selections than him. He's always into my sneakers, even though we made a conscious decision that we were only going to buy one pair of J's and just share. Because like, why are we spending $400 on some shoes? And I actually have not worn sneakers in like months because my feet, pregnancy issues. But he also is so meticulous about his personal belongings that they look like they just came out the box, so I don't care so much. But yeah, I would say that too. Burbank was definitely, we were thinking about moving to California, but they wanted $1 million for us to live there, so learn to stay out.
And the leg.
And the leg, and my firstborn. What I wanted to do before we got off, let me see, because I have to, what time is it? Oh, I have a meeting in 15 minutes. Okay, so quickly, we'll call this like, the rapid round.
Okay.
Okay. What's your favorite color? No, what's my favorite color?
Green.
Yours is blue. Is it?
It's turquoise blue.
Turquoise blue. It was in the family. Who ain't too far off. Your favorite? Who's my favorite football player?
Ray Lewis.
No.
No?
Ed Reed.
Oh. I knew that. Okay.
Yes, you did. Yours? I don't know yours. I don't know his favorite. Oh, Hollywood?
I mean, he can, yeah. Current.
Okay. Who's my favorite rapper?
Oh. Rapper? DMX?
Wow. No. I don't have one.
That's why I was like.
That was a trick question.
That was like the question mark at the end of DMX. So DMX?
Yours is J. Cole.
Okay.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
Favorite sneaker?
Your favorite sneaker? Ones.
Whew. Fire. Yours? Air Max?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. When's my birthday?
October 1st.
Okay. I don't remember. I wasn't there. I was drugged. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope this gave you some great insight into my firstborn, my baby boy, my existence in form. But we'll do more videos like this. All right, he think he cute. It's time to go. All right, I love you all. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And until our next video, mwah, bye.